Welcome, everybody, to the Hoopercast. I'm coming to you live from hell this week because my AC has been out for about 4 or 5 days at this point. It sucks. And by the time you're listening to this, I swear to God, it better be fixed or I'm going to lose my fucking mind. AC went out Tuesday, given an estimate on Wednesday by a company, and it was out fucking rageous. I got a second opinion on Thursday, much better, and then was not able to get on their schedule before the weekend began. So now it is Saturday, it's 3:45, and the sun is beating down on the very front of my house. Thankfully, I have a network of people who offered me a gobbledygook of fans, box fans, tower fans, and now I have got 2 separate window units happening on my house because I got home today from errands and it was 83 indoors, and that sucks. So today the rain decided not to happen in my city, and so the cloud cover and low temperatures I had been relying on all week hath gone away. So far these have been on for about an hour, and we got it down to 82 in the house. So if that keeps working, we will be okay. Like I said, by the time you're listening to this should be fixed, but my God, it sucks so bad. Anyways, that's what's going on with me. Can't be much worse of an experience than watching The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is a movie I did not see, but this week we're talking about it because Dustin saw it. Dustin had a low friction opportunity to see this film, and even with all the savings he experienced on the way to this movie, I don't think he was satisfied. So, without further ado, please enjoy Man-Child and Goku. I mean, Helmet Man and Koju. I mean, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Save me from this heat. Hello, kitten. Oh, that was a nice kiss from the cat. Explain to me how you ended up going to see The Mandalorian and Grogu this weekend.
Yeah, so you've seen the title of this episode. You know that it's Daredevil. It's Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mandalorian and Daredevil.
And you also know, like, why did Dustin go see that? Because, you know, like, I'm fairly divorced from this franchise. Here's how it happened. I paid for Regal Unlimited, and it's like, whatever, $25 a month or whatever. And I paid for the month of May, and I didn't go see a single film in the month of May. And so I was on the precipice of like a big project at work, and I had like essentially one day, like one evening unexpectedly free before the crazy hit. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the movies. And so I pulled up the Regal app and I was like, what's planned? Completely forgot that Mandalorian and Grogu was out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, crap. I think I kind of have to go see Mandalorian and Grogu. There's like nothing else playing at my theater that was of interest. And so, okay, fine. I'll go see a Star Wars. Sure was a movie.
Let's talk about it.
We've all heard stories of the Mandalorian bounty hunter and a child.
I only hunt Imperial war criminals. I'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor first.
We're protecting everything the rebellion fought for.
Good luck. You're gonna need it.
Hey!
Oh, it's a horrible baby. It's a bad baby.
Strap in.
We need a professional.
Hang on.
What happens when you're not there to protect him?
You good? I'll be right behind you. Go! Go!
Mandalorian, you will suffer. Then it will be his turn.
Monstrous. The old protect the young. And then the young protect the old. It's time.
Are you scared? You should be.
Good job, baby.
This is the way.
This is technically called Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu,
Okay.
but that's what it says on Google. It's both.
Is it both?
Well, on screen it's just The Mandalorian and Grogu, but technically the title is Star Wars. I'm looking at the poster too. It's on there.
Weird. Okay. Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu.
That was an addendum from someone in marketing.
Yeah. Somebody was like, they don't know what a Mandalorian is.
Yeah. Normal people don't know what this is.
Yeah. You have to say a Star Wars. You
Yeah.
have to put that in there.
Yep.
The Mandalorian and Grogu, where to begin? First of all, how spoilery do you want this to be? Like,
I'm cool with you fully spoiling it because I don't think I'm going to see this.
okay. All right. So The Mandalorian and Grogu is a movie that exists and it is not worth your time seeing in theaters. That's the review. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Come back later, Disney Plusers.
normally when I have something like this where I really want to like tackle some points, I write some notes. I didn't do that this time. I just wasn't motivated enough. And that's where I want to, like, I'm going to talk about the film and I'm going to be critical of the film. But what I want to say up front is like, I don't actually care about this. Like, I'm going to talk about it and I don't know, it might get heated, but I don't actually care. I've genuinely forgotten, like, I don't have any passion really behind my feelings for it. It's just a bland movie. And I'm more upset that like, this is a movie that, you know, has the biggest studio in the world behind it, and it could have been really good. It has really good creative folks involved. Like, I don't understand how it became what it did. So I don't actually care one way or another about the film because I don't care about the IP and I don't really care much about like, you know, like I'm not personally invested in it or in its success or failure. But I had to go to Wikipedia and refresh my memory of like what all happened in this movie and in what order it happened, because it like left my brain immediately after I saw this. And so here's the gist. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 happened, and they were both very big and fairly critically acclaimed. Season 3 happened. I didn't watch it. From what I understand, the acclaim really dropped off in the third season. And Mando and Grogu appeared in some other shows, Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, which I also never watched. So I was behind on what was happening in the world of The Mandalorian. And do I think that would have helped me? No, because this movie is essentially a bottle episode. Like, it's a bottle 5 episodes jammed together into one feature-length runtime. But you can still totally tell what the episodes were designed to be. Like, this is the episode where this happens. And so the whole, like, the next 20 minutes of your life is that thing happening. And then it changes to be the next episode. And there's no like, you know, on screen, you know, notation of like when we're switching, but you can feel it. That, oh, like the end credits should have played just then. And so it really, I think I don't know, like behind the scenes, I don't know enough to know whether it was designed like as a show and then retrofitted into a film, or like, I really don't know, but that's certainly what it feels like. And so the premise is very simple. The Mandalorian, who is this like stoic, fairly straight-laced character, is paired up with Grogu, who's this, adorable little baby Yoda figure. Everyone knows who these characters are at this point. But this is set after Return of the Jedi. So the Empire has been destroyed, but there are remnants like Imperial officers who still exist in the world and are still trying to bring the Empire back. And so the Mandalorian now apparently works for the New Republic, like trying to locate these Imperial officers and either kill or remove them from, stop them from bringing the Empire back, so to speak. What happens? Like, we open sort of in media res. There's a mission that Mando is on. He goes back after completing the mission and meets Sigourney Weaver, who's like, I guess, his commander. And she's like, hey, cool. Thank you for doing that. Also, I got another job for you. Here's what's happening. We found there's an Imperial officer named Coin that we need you to find. And we've been looking for him for a long time. We have a lead on him. It's the Hutts. So like Jabba's, I guess, siblings. They're twins, and they know where Coin is, and they're saying that they will give us that information, but only if we do them the favor of finding Jabba's son, who's been kidnapped and is like being held for ransom. And so we want you to find him and rescue him, and then we'll tell you where the Imperial officer is, and you can do with him what you want.
By the way, Johnu Coin is played by an actor named Johnny Coin.
Is he really?
Yes.
That can't be true.
It is. Johnu Coin's the character, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
The actor's name is Johnny Coin, Jonathan Coin.
Oh my gosh. So that's what I want to talk about. The writing is so lazy. That's the premise. Mando's going to go on this adventure to do this thing. Here's the problem. This film ignores everything that a screenplay must have. Everything. And it is insufferable to watch. And it's very apparent very quickly. Like, you have your opening sequence, which is like, an action sequence, and you're like, okay, like, sure, this is starting and it's fine and it's an action thing and cool. And he goes and meets Sigourney Weaver, and immediately I'm like, there's no conflict in this scene. This is him saying, I did a thing, and her saying, great job doing the thing. Here's some more things you can do. And him saying, cool, thank you. There's no conflict in the scene. There's no like, it becomes very apparent that like none of these characters have points of view. You would expect that she would be like, so in the opening sequence, he kills the Imperial officer. So the easy thing to do is that he comes back and she's like, why would you kill him?
Yeah, you're not supposed to kill him.
You're not supposed to kill him. We need answers. And like, she kind of does, but they gloss over it so fast that there's no staying conflict in the scene. Mm-hmm. It doesn't show that there's a difference of like belief or motivation between these characters that leads to any sort of dramatic tension or like anything happening at all of substance. It's just, here's some expository dialogue and here's some information you need to move on in your quest. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. I might let that slide once. Then he goes to the next place, and the next place is the Hutts, like the twins. He's going to go see them and hear from them directly and get what he can from them so he can go find Jabba's son. And so he goes there, and they are coming into the planet or whatever, and there's like some ships that come in beside them, and they're like, hey, what's your business here? And so you kind of think like, oh, there's going to be like a little fight here. Like, what are you doing here? But then he's like, hey, the twins sent for me. And they're like, all right, cool. Okay. And we'll escort you in. Wow. And so they escorted him in. Okay. So drama, none. So then he goes inside the place, and he tells Grogu, like, watch out. Everything seems fine here, but this is not a safe place. And I'm like, okay, cool. Now we're going to get to some danger and like some conflict. And he walks in and he says to the twins, like, what do you need? And they're like, we need you to find Rada the Hutt. And he's like, cool, I'll do that. And then they leave. And I'm like, oh, where was the tension? Where was the drama? Why even say that you're not in a safe place if there's no danger in this scene? It's pointless. You told us there was danger, but didn't show us any danger. So, okay, now that's scene 3 in a row with no conflict. Then he goes to the planet where they're like, last time we saw him, he was on this planet. Okay, cool. So they go to the planet and he gets out of his ship. It's like this neon drenched, like Blade Runner-y type place. And he finds an alien played by Martin Scorsese of all people. And he's like, hey, alien, can you tell me where Rod of the Hutt is? And he's like, oh, yeah, everyone knows where Rod of the Hutt is. He's on that poster over there. He's fighting in this gladiator match. Okay, no conflict there. Great. Then he goes and meets Rada and he waltzes into the, where Rada is being captured or being held prisoner.
Just small thing here. This kind of completely, I know that this beef was dead, basically.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to hear Martin Scorsese talk about what is or isn't cinema ever again.
Yeah, it is a little bit
he chose to appear in this film.
Yeah, that's right.
Which first and foremost is a Star Wars film, which you could say that the original was cinema or whatever, but what it's become is exactly what he was, saying was wrong with filmmaking. But then someone asked him, will you please be in this film, Marty? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, even if he did it as a favor, even if he did it for free, why? No. Mando goes into the place where Rada's being held, and Rada's getting a back rub, from this alien. Because I guess there's a scene in between where he was fighting in a gladiator match or whatever.
Okay.
And so I guess there's drama there because they're fighting, but that's not character drama. It's just fighting.
It's just atmosphere. Yeah.
So then Mando, walks up to him and is like, "Hey, I'm here to, free you. I want you to. I'm going to take you back to the twins." Yeah. And he's like, "No, I'm good. I like it here." And he's like, "Okay." And so he leaves. And I'm like, okay, you started to have drama. You have two characters with different points of view, but also Mando doesn't really care. You know what I mean? It's not like Mando's like, "No, you need to leave. You need to stay." That it's not out of a belief. It's just, "Hey, I'm going to take you home." And he's like, "I don't want to go home." And he's like, "Okay." And so then he goes back to Martin Scorsese and goes, "Hey, I need to know where Coin is." And he's like, "Oh, I don't want to tell you where he is." And he's like, "Okay." And then he just goes and finds him anyway. and I'm like, there's so much happening here that's nothing.
Completely unnecessary.
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And every time you start to have a little bit of drama, it's completely undercut by Mando just going, "Okay." So this is my big point, right? I say all that to say the film is dramaless, it's conflictless, but also what is Mando's, if you take Din Djarin as a character and say, what is your motivation here? You can say, well, he wants to rid the system of Imperial officers.
Yeah.
But character-wise, what does he want?
Yeah.
And there's nothing. And so even, like I said, even him saying, "I need to know where this person is," or "I'm going to take you home," and being met with the smallest bit of resistance, it's not built out of a differing worldview or moral structure or different characterization of some deep psychological way. It's literally just, "I was told to do a thing." And then people are like, "Oh, I don't want you to do it." And he's like, "Okay." So there's no conflict. It's not born out of anything. And Mando has no motivation. He has no goal. We've talked before on the show about what makes a goal. We've said, if you do a zombie movie, right, or whatever, survival is not a goal. Survival is something that everyone's aiming for. So you got to tell me why survive? What is it about the survival that is important to these characters? Is it, I've got children and I need to make sure they're cared for. Okay, now the goal of survival is personified by your children, right? It becomes thematic for parenting and raising up a new generation, right? Survival is the catalyst, the nucleus around something that makes way more thematic import than that does.
I would think that you would think that, I don't know if people think that like survival being the literal thing that unites all human beings, like, the urge to the instinct to survive.
Yeah.
Maybe they're thinking like everyone can relate to this.
Sure.
But they forget that like when you watch a movie, you're not really thinking of those characters as people until you give them depth and reason to survive.
That's right.
Like following your instinct to not die isn't enough on film.
Sure.
People getting back to their families, people trying to deliver a message that's important,
it might be enough to carry some action sequences, but it is not enough to carry dramatic weight and make your film memorable.
Right.
It's just not. In any film that's built around survival that you want to point to always has something deeper. And this is true for everything. You can do sports movies the same way. The conflict is never will they win. Mm-hmm. The conflict is always something deeper. What does the win or loss mean?
Does the win get us a promotion to a new league, like in Welcome to Wrexham? Does the win mean that this is the first time our team has ever won a championship? Does the win mean we finally learned how to work together? Yep. Does it mean we win the prize money and I can save my gym?
Yes. Oh, and then coupled with that is the very important word, stakes. Yeah. What are the stakes? Okay, if I don't win, I lose the gym. Yeah. If the team doesn't go to the playoffs, then I'm done coaching.
Those guys are going to kill my wife.
Sure. That's a strange sports movie.
Those loan sharks are going to kill my wife.
Yeah. Hey, coach.
Yeah.
We got your wife.
Yeah.
You better win.
You better win this game. Got a lot of money riding on this.
Got a lot of your wife riding on this. Like 100% of your wife.
Took you over on your wife being murdered if you don't win this game.
There's a nucleus around which everything spins, and it's all of that working together that matters, that makes your story matter. Yeah. And so here, the characters have no motivation. There's no goal. There's no like deep character. We talk about like character want versus character need. Yeah. What do they want versus what they need? Right? Like Rocky, what does he want versus what he needs? Well, what he actually needs is Adrian, right? What he actually needs is to prove to himself he's not a bum. Mm-hmm. That's what he wants. That's what he needs.
Yeah. He wants upward mobility.
And sometimes your want and the need are different, right? Yeah. Think of Toy Story. Woody wants to be Andy's favorite. Yeah. He needs to share the spotlight. Yeah. This is like good storytelling. Yes. That and this has no want versus need. It has no motivation. It has no conflict. It has no goal, no theme. There's nothing here.
It's got Grogu.
And Helmet Man, and that's all they do is be Grogu and Helmet Man. Yeah. And the way the story unfolds is he chases down, it finds coin. He's like, hey, I'm going to I've come for Rada. I want to take him home. And the dude's like, hey, Rada is almost done with his servitude to me, which is also like, oh, so he's in service? Did you kidnap him or is he? Yeah. I don't understand this. Okay, yes. Well, fine. So he's like, well, he's almost done, but I'm going to kill him. Like his last fight is going to kill him. And I'm like, why would you tell Mando this? He's immediately going to go free the guy.
He's telling him, like, you can have him back the day after his last fight.
Yeah. He's like, it's not important to you, Jaren, or Mando. It's not important to you, Mando.
Hey, stranger I just met.
Yeah, he's going to die tomorrow anyway. It's his last fight.
You're the only person I've told that I'm going to murder my slave.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay. So then he goes back to Rada and is like, hey, he's going to kill you. And he's like, that's fine.
I don't want to be killed. Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's fine. I'm going to fight. I'll find a way out of it. And Mando's like, no, dude, like you won't. It's whatever.
Why is everyone so apathetic in this
movie? Everyone's
so
apathetic. and then so like they gas everybody and Mando has to fight Rada now or whatever. I'll be honest, I slightly fell asleep in the theater during this fight scene. I did, dude. I don't remember it. I genuinely think I fell asleep for about 3 minutes. Am I tired? Sure.
Yeah.
I think that's also a fault of the film.
Yeah. I don't care how tired I am. If it's interesting, I'm awake.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And so like I don't fall asleep during interesting films.
Right.
And so I was just like, all right, whatever. And so like I wake up, Mando's like solved it. Great, cool. They escape, whatever.
Yeah.
And he sends Rada on his way and is like, cool, you're fine now. And then he's like, cool. And so they send him back. The word comes in, hey, by the way, the dude that you're looking for, Coin, yeah, he is the guy that kidnapped Rada. And it's like, oh, the guy that told me he was going to kill Rada. I got to go find him again. So he goes and he finds him again, gets him, brings him to Sigourney Weaver. And Sigourney Weaver's like, great, good job, Mando. And the end credits could have rolled right there. Story done. Mando gives Coin over to Sigourney Weaver, goes home, and is like chilling at home. And then like this bounty hunter shows up to, get Mando. And he's like, oh, I got to fight this guy now. So he fights this bounty hunter. Yeah. The bounty hunter wins and takes Mando with him. And Grogu's like, oh no, what do I do now? Right. And he teams up with a bunch of little, do you remember from Rise of Skywalker, Babu Frick? You like that little guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little gremlin. It's like, no. What are you doing? Oh, that's literally what it. Well, evidently there's a bunch of them. So there's like 10 Baba Fricks.
Oh God!
And one of the Baba Fricks got taken, and so Mando is like, or Grogu is like looking at it. He can't talk, so he's like looking at the Baba Fricks, and they're like, oh, we gotta go after him. I guess we'll go whatever. And they all like get in this tiny little spaceship and go after the bounty hunter.
Oh boy.
To save their friends. And so now Mando wakes up and the twins have taken him and they're like, hey, we stole Rada. We just wanted him back so we could torture him forever because we want him dead eventually. And then when he dies, we're going to take over Jabba. He's the heir to Jabba's everything, fortune and everything, and we're going to take it. And so he's like, oh, okay, well, I got to save Rada then. So they're like, no such luck, dude. Take your helmet off and show everybody your Pedro Pascal. And so it does. And then they're like, cool. And they throw him in this pit and
show the audience you were on set at least once.
Yeah, literally only once. And so he falls down in the pit, and in the pit, this is where like I'm already checked out, but I'm super checked out now because it's almost important to me that you watch this and see how stupid this is. He falls in this pit, and at the bottom of the pit is water. He falls in the water. He falls from a great height down into the water, like sinks down to the bottom because he's got his Beskar armor on or whatever. It's like all the way down to the bottom. He like swims his way up, and as he's swimming up, you see like a little like go across the screen. It's like, oh, there's something in the water, right? Oh, great. Okay. And so he gets to the top. And the Hutts are up there and they're like, we're going to keep your helmet because it's worth $1 billion on the black market. And he's like, hey, give me my helmet back. And they're like, no. And then he's like, okay. And they're like, you're dead anyway. The things are going to kill you. And he's like, oh no. And so he like looks around, finds a weapon. Okay, great. And he finds a weapon. And then like these things start attacking him, like these little like creatures. And so he's like taking out all the creatures. Remember that he just fell from a great height into the water and went to the bottom.
Yeah.
And now he's walking around in the water. There's a shallow end in this pool, apparently. And so he's walking around and then he dispatches all the little creatures and then like another little like thing across the screen. And it's like, oh, there's something else in there. This is even bigger. And it's this gigantic like serpent. Okay. And so this huge serpent is like, yeah, I'm going to get you. And so he's like staring Mando down. And now Mando's like backing up slowly through the water. And I'm like, okay, where's the deep end of this water?
Right.
Finally, his foot like slips and there's an underwater shot and you see like, I guess he's standing on vines or tree trunks or something.
All right.
But like this whole time he's been like in a fight sequence that the water's up to his ankles. You know what I mean? And like now suddenly it's super deep again. There's no consistency. I'm like, this is a pit. Why is there a shallow end and a deep end? Why has it only been shallow end during this fight, but it was super deep? And the second he fell in, he hit the exact right spot, I guess, for it to be super deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And meanwhile, this huge Leviathan is in this thing.
Yeah.
Where was this dude hiding?
Where does it live? Yeah.
He can't hide in the shallow end. If it's up to Mando's ankles, where's this dude living? None of this makes sense. It's just like the water is as deep as every shot needs it to be. There's
The other
no
day,
consistency.
my son called me into his room and he had piled a bunch of his toys in a big pile and he wanted me to look for the experiment. And the experiment was he has like these three like soft stuffed snakes that he tied together at the neck and made like this big hydra out of them.
Okay.
And it's like this like snake rat king that he made.
It's pretty dope.
And he was explaining to me what it is. And he's like, it's as big as Mount Everest and like it eats lava and it does all this stuff. And I was like, it's like, but then like, it goes back and it hides in its favorite place to hide is volcanoes. And I was like, well, if it's as big as Mount Everest, how's it hide in a volcano?
Yeah.
And he paused for a minute. He's like, it can shrink. I feel like my son wrote this scene.
Legit.
My 10-year-old son.
Legit.
With the same logic.
That's
how does
100% like
it shrinks.
Yeah, it's just in there.
The deep end is exactly Leviathan shaped.
Correct. And by the way, this is actually very small. Like the circumference of this pit is very small. So there's no reason for this to be the way it is. But that's 100% what it is. It's like, what's cool? I don't know. Big snake. Okay, cool. Well, where did it live? I don't know. It's just in there.
Shut up. Who cares?
It's just in there, along with 30 of these other little creatures.
Right.
That are human-sized. They're 6 foot tall creatures. They're not like
that it doesn't
babies.
eat.
Yeah,
it eats the people that fall in, but not the other humanoid
but not
things.
the little things. Yeah, it makes no sense.
What a racist.
Yes.
I only eat the humans.
That's right. Also, I'm really tall and could just like serpent my way
probably
up
get
out
out
of this thing and eat all the slugs up here.
I could rule this whole planet if I just left my home.
It makes no sense, dude. This dude's like skyscraper sized. Anyway, whatever. So it's a fight. It's a scene that makes no sense. But in the process, Mando gets bit. Okay. So yeah, the Leviathan grabs him and like starts dragging him around. And I'm like, this dude is so big, his jaw snaps you in half. It's not just gonna like graze your skin.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. That's a nitpick, but it's true. So he gets out. But all the Babu Fricks and Grogu found him somehow, and they set off a charge, and it shoots the water out. Mando comes out. Great.
Okay.
Now they're like trying to get out, and Mando and Grogu and the Fricks are making their way through the forest. Mando's like running, but he's like getting tired, and then eventually he's like, "I'm gonna die, Grogu. It's fine." And Grogu's like, "Oh no, my friend!" And so he uses the Force healing and heals up Mando.
Okay.
But Mando's still poisoned by the Leviathan's poison or whatever, and so he's like, "Okay, I guess I'll save you." So now we enter the 20-minute episode where Grogu cares for Mando while Mando's just laying on the ground.
Okay.
And it's like resuscitating him back to health and like all the little adventures that Grogu gets up to. And so then when Mando eventually comes back, because he's going to, and he gets healthy again, then they're going to go take on the slugs and take them out. So that's going to be the last episode in this little thing. Okay. So that's the thing. That's the whole movie. It's like nothing
vignettes.
after nothing after nothing. It's vignette after vignette after vignette. None of it is based on character. There's like the closest it comes to having a theme is Mando saying to Grogu when he wakes up, the old take care of the young and the young take care of the old to Grogu. And Grogu's like, okay.
What?
And I'm like, that's not a theme. You haven't established that. Have you established the idea that Mando feels burdened by caring for Grogu and then he realizes it's not a burden, but like it's a loving thing to do? Or like, have you established that like young people care for older people. None of this makes any sense.
It's like saying the water is blue.
Yeah.
The water is wet.
Yes.
It's like, yeah. That's yeah.
But that's not a theme.
Is that some realization you're having?
Yeah.
Do they not have elder care in the New Republic?
I guess not. It makes no sense.
Wow.
There's no reason for that line. It doesn't pay anything off. It's not establishing like the theme of the film is like caring for each other, which is such a generic theme anyway. Like we should care for each other. Yeah, got it. I don't need Star Wars to tell me that, whatever, like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't mean anything. And there's no thought process behind this. Now I've said all of this, like all of the bad stuff.
Yeah.
But the main thing is like such a wasted potential. Anytime you take a series and you turn it into a film, you have the potential to do something. Like you could always do this in a series too, but like within a film, it feels like you have the potential to like move story forward at a very quick pace, right? Within 2 hours, we're going to be in a new spot.
Yeah.
There's no change here. There's no change to like what they're doing or how they're approaching life or what their like headspace. There's nothing. There's no difference. Yeah. And I thought like if you had asked me going in like what's going to happen in this movie, I would have said the number one thing that would happen, because this is so obvious and it does not happen, is that at some point in this film, they will find themselves back against a corner or something. And it'll be like, what do we do, Mando? And he's going to be like, we fight, we fight till our last breath. We stand and we fight, it's like one of those like last call things.
Yeah.
And then it would like pan down to Grogu and he would say something in his very cutesy voice. He's never spoken before, but he would speak for the first time and say, fight we will. And that's the easiest thing in the world that now Grogu speaks, that now Grogu says, or like if the thing is, this is the way, then you have a payoff at the end where at the hero's lowest point, Grogu says the way this is, and it's, oh, cool. Got it.
Yeah.
That's what this whole film was to like progress Grogu into the next he's not a baby anymore. He's like a kid or like something. Like you're progressing the story in some way. That's the most obvious thing. That doesn't even change character. That just changes like what we now can do. Yeah. Right. Like it's a change of station essentially. But like Mando, like that's bare minimum. Mando himself should have some big realization of like, like you're essentially painting him as a father. Yes. The film tells us that in no uncertain terms. Rada's like, my dad was crazy and I don't want to be like Jabba. And he's like, but Rada says to Grogu at one point, like, you got a good dad here. Yeah. So the idea is that Grogu and Mando are father-son. Right. So tell me something about fatherhood. Change Mando's outlook on being Grogu's dad. Yeah. That's what you have to do. Like Goofy this movie up or do something. Like there's got to be something where he's got a deeper understanding of Grogu or a deeper like resolve to, his commitment to caring for him and raising him or something. But you also have to give me the dark night of the soul. You also have to give me the moment where Mando goes, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I should be raising you. Right. Like again, this is all off the top of my head, but like maybe there's a moment where Grogu should be able to do something with his force powers, or should be able to do something, and he can't do it. And Mando's like, I don't think I'm the person to raise you. Like, I think you need something more than me, right?
Yeah.
Like you should have stayed with Luke. I know that was part of Boba Fett or whatever. Like you should have stayed with Luke. I don't know how that ended, but obviously end of season 2 of Mando, he goes with Luke. It's like, okay, so you should have stayed with Luke. Like he could have taught you better than I can, how to be this thing that you need to be, or whatever. Like, you got to give me the dark night of the soul. I shouldn't have dragged you into this. You're too young, whatever. And then by the end, he realizes, like, no, I am the guy to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I am the dad you need, right? Well, something. I mean, it's that's bare minimum, but it's something. And then you've like progressed the character. I would say that that's still a little too safe. That by the end, just for him to say, like, I'm really going to be a dad now, that's not enough of a change. But within the 2-hour span of this film, Mando should have changed in some significant way.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know this world well enough. I can't give it to you right now, but like, I'm sure given millions of dollars and ample time, I can come up with something. And again, there's no way on earth I'm not doing the Grogu says a backwards Yoda line in this film.
Right.
That is the easiest thing in the whole entire freaking world. That is like, that's what everybody wants. Like, everybody thinks they just want cute little. No, they want him to do a Yoda-ism.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Like, they don't know that, but that's what everyone wants, is for him to say the way this is in his cute little voice. And then everyone goes, oh, cute. Yeah, he can talk now. And then in the next season of Mandalorian, you've got your baby Yoda and he can talk.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants. There's no reason on earth to not do something like that. And it's so lazy. It's so formulaic, but no, formulaic's not even the word, because it ignores all formula.
It sounds like this should have just been a season of the show.
Yeah, but like with something dramatic, like with some sort of conflict.
Yeah,
like,
but
I think
everything feels so small stakes to me. Like,
there are no stakes.
Even if you do that character growth and you do it the way you did it, there's still really no reason to make it a film. Like,
No.
I'm not into the TV show as a film now, unless it was prematurely canceled, like Firefly or like Community or something.
Yeah.
But like, especially if you're going to do a movie and then go back into a series and continue it, it's like, why aren't we just doing a series? What are you doing?
Why not just do the series? Well, but see, and that's the thing, like,
the studio wants Star Wars stuff and people like Grogu. And so we're going to...
It was an easy thing.
Do this whole thing. I don't know why Jon Favreau is doing this and why it's executed as poorly as it sounds like it was, because I like Jon Favreau. He knows what he's doing.
I do too.
Dave Filoni and him co-wrote this thing. I'm surprised that this says that the critics praise the score and Pascal's performance.
The score is great. It's Ludwig Göransson, and it is genuinely great. It does not sound like Star Wars,
right?
But it's good.
While criticizing the plot, visuals, and action sequences, arguably the 3 most important things in a space western. Yeah,
100%. It's infuriating how lackluster this is, and part of it, you just mentioned like stakes. It's a very easy thing to say, like, we need to get what's his face Rada back, and we have to do it now because he's like, if that was from the beginning, the twins said we received intel that Coin is going to kill Rada tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we've got stakes. We've got our ticking time clock. We know what we're up against. But like, there's none. Like, there's just nothing. And then finally, when they steal Mando, when the bounty hunter steals Mando, they're like, we're going to kill you, Mando. Okay, but what are the stakes? And then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you kill me, and then what? The Hutts just keep being gangsters? Like, that's not cool. It should be like, Mando, we intercepted your ship. We back traced its coordinates. We now know where the New Republic is. We know where Sigourney Weaver is, and we're going to go kill her after we kill you. We're going to end the New Republic before it begins. Now,
And
suddenly
also, while we're doing this, we're going to put on your armor and impersonate you. And we're going to teach Grogu bad lessons, and he's going to be a
that's
criminal
right.
when he grows
He's going
up.
to use profanity.
He's going to use drugs.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, you sons of a bitch, you're not going to make my son into a degenerate. And then he rips out of his chains and he chokes him to death. And
yeah, that's right. But yeah, man, like that's so easy. Like, no, if you kill me, then you go kill all my friends. You go kill the whole New Order. Like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Right now we've got stakes.
Yeah.
There's none of that. There's no indication of anything. I guess in fairness, they say we're going to torture Rada for years. Okay.
I
don't
like
care
that guy.
about Rada.
Yeah, I'll fuck that guy.
And what does that mean? Like what I just said, we're going to stop the New Order. Like that means like big business for the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Like the New Order, we're destroying it.
Yeah.
So the Empire can come back.
Right.
That's big.
That's very bad.
That's very bad.
And they
If you're just
kidnap
like,
him
we
right
got
in the
one
middle.
dude. We got one dude and we're going to torture him. But he's not, they torture him and he's got like lightning, like little like sparks going into his head or whatever. And it's like, but he's not even going like,
yeah,
which would at
cut his
least
arm
sell
off.
the idea that he's like in pain or like something. He's just like laying there.
Do that
I'm
thing
like,
where you
is
put
he even aware?
You put the rat on his tummy and you put the bucket over it and you get a blowtorch to the bucket and the rat starts eating him, eating his belly.
Yeah.
Like in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Well, but
that's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, but like
what you're saying is Too Fast, Too Furious has bigger stakes than Mandalorian.
They hold down that guy who plays Flass or whatever from Batman Begins.
Oh yeah.
He's like some like dirty cop and he's like, did you know a rat will chew through anything to escape? And so like they light it up and it starts biting his. You can hear it. You can't even see what the rat's doing. It's just squeaking.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's pretty tense. He goes, you don't have to worry about when he's squeaking. It's when he gets quiet. That's when he's going to start biting you. And then he starts scratching at him and biting him. And he's like, I'll tell you anything you want. Yeah. And they lift the bucket when it's done. His stomach's all like ripped up from like the rat.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Do that to that guy. Like Sparks.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure he's had Sparks before. He's a tough guy.
Yeah,
Rats.
whatever.
Get one of those rats those big ones that Jabba eats.
Yeah.
The little pickled rats he eats.
Yes. Right.
Get those. You got rats in space.
That's right.
Yeah, but kidnapped Din Djarin like right after that Dark Night of the Soul. Like he's had the conversation with Grogu and he's like, I think I'm just a piece of shit and I can't do anything for you. And he walks off to clear his mind and he gets jumped and kidnapped and Grogu sees it. And so he's already feeling like shit. And now he's like we're going to kill you, Din Djarin. And he's probably like, that's fine. I'm fucking worthless. And they're like, we're also going to get your son hooked on drugs and we're going to resurrect the Empire. And he's like, all right, I need to stop this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I need to live.
Well, in that version, there's stakes, conflict, the whole thing. But like at the end, instead of the old take care of the young and the young take care of the old, it's I gave up on you and you didn't give up on me.
Yeah. Yep.
That makes way more sense. That's way better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I gave up on you, Grogu. Like you didn't give up on me. That's way better. And he's like, and that's when you do it. It's I gave up on you. You didn't give up on me. Why did you do that? Why did you come back? The way this is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
there
it. Boom. And then there's not a dry eye in the place. Yeah. Let's get him. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And they go back and they fight and they do the thing.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. But like look at us. We're just like writing a movie or something. But like there's none of that in here. It's like it's just so vapid and nothing. There's just no substance at all. And that's so frustrating because again, I like Jon Favreau and I like Pedro Pascal who it had nothing to do with this movie. Let's be honest. He's in one scene and does a bunch of voiceover. But I like Sigourney Weaver. Jeremy Allen White plays Rada the Hutt. Like I like these people. I don't understand. Whatever. I think the bottom line is this is a movie that has nothing to say. It is just content. And that sucks because this is like, whatever. I've said this before. I'll say it again. The first 3 Star Wars movies are the only movies that matter in this franchise to me. And so I didn't expect this to be those, but it could have been. That's what keeps frustrating me about Star Wars is we know you can make a good Star Wars movie. They did it 3 times in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
Do it again. Why is this impossible? Lucas tried 3 times and failed 3 times. And then we had 3 failures, back to back, with JJ and Ryan. And then we had failure after failure with these spinoffs. I don't understand what is so hard about just telling a good story.
Yeah.
I say that as someone who's never had a story published, but I'm just saying it, like everything we just said is way more impactful. And sure, maybe somebody out there who's like real highbrow and only watches Criterion goes, everything you just said is really like formulaic and it's super, trite. Okay, fine, whatever.
This is genre storytelling.
But it's something.
Yeah.
It's something like those become tropes for a reason, because they work and people keep doing them.
That argument
whatever.
would be to reject blockbuster and IP storytelling altogether, which is a point of view, but it's just like there's a way to do it, at least in a way that makes sense. And even if it comes off like trite or formulaic, it's still but it's still a better experience than making and spending ungodly amounts of money that could be used for any number of things on a good movie with something to say. And, with everyone who was involved in making this, there's only one of 2 avenues. Either people just suck after a while and their judgment sucks, or, or / apathy. Yeah. Or the studio had a bunch of things that they wanted in this movie and they had to write to those things. And that's what results in such a clunky plot. But even that doesn't make a lot of sense, because it's like that would still have resulted in some kind of emotional experience. Yeah. And the fact that this film just seems so empty of those things, it's like, well, it can't just be the studio. I don't know.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It feels like they gave them carte blanche, which means it's not the studio. It's Filoni and Favreau going like maybe this meant something to them in some way. Yeah. It was important to them in some way. I don't understand it. Like it wouldn't surprise me if this was a lot of like Dave Filoni's ideas. And the reason I say that is because Rada the Hutt being a main character, Rada was also a main character in I guess I never saw it, but like he was the MacGuffin in the Clone Wars movie, the animated Clone Wars movie that I think Filoni directed or wrote.
I think he directed it.
So undoubtedly, Filoni's connected to this character. And so he's looking at it going, oh, I get a chance to do another Rada story. Great. It means nothing to me. Like you have to reconvince me of that in this film. Because again, I've never seen the other film. And I shouldn't be expected to see an animated film from 2003 in order to understand this. It doesn't make any sense. And then there's like a character that Steve Bloom plays in this that is, I guess, pulled from the Clone Wars or Bad Batch or something, which again is a Filoni thing. So it feels to me like this is a lot of like and the bounty hunter that captures Din Djarin is evidently from Clone Wars or whatever. So like or Rebel, whatever it is. I don't know what Rebel something, Rebels, whatever. Again, another Filoni thing. So it feels like this is a lot of like Dave Filoni searching through like, ooh, that's a character I liked writing that one time. I'll put him in this. And so then you end up with just like a ton of these things and none of them really mean anything to me. I don't have a built-in nostalgia for them. I think this is the case of like a writer who's lived with characters for so long that they feel nostalgic for those characters and love those characters. But the audience to most of them, to me, they're all new characters. I'm not convinced of a connection there. So
even then, it's not lasting. Even if you know who those characters are, it's still like at that point you're accepting. You have to accept that you are watching a film because you want things or connections you recognize, and you're not really interested in what the story is going to be. Like you would watch the movie without a protagonist, as long as it had Rada the Hutt in it and other things. You know, there's plenty of movies I like that I acknowledge are not good, and I just enjoy the little things I know about them. But I'll never go up and defend them as a good film.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. So I don't know who's to blame for this. I really don't. It feels, it could be the studio, but it feels like they gave them, just said yes to whatever. It could be Filoni and Favreau. It could be like apathy on like all the actors' parts. Like
I wonder.
It does. I mean, it does feel like a lot of this is phoned in, and that's not like to discredit, you know, Sigourney Weaver, for instance, but like she's in such a small amount of this film. Yeah, it's just a paycheck. Her character isn't a character. She's just a person. Like there's nothing given to her that makes her complex or intriguing.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Steve Bloom's character Zeb. It's the same with Rada the Hutt. I don't have anything to grab hold of there. And you know, Grogu doesn't talk. So he's like, I'm always confused about like what Grogu understands, right? Like he's a baby. So what does he understand? Like what is he able to think complex thoughts the way that like, you know, Yoda could? He just can't express them because he's young? Or is he real, like legit perceiving the world the way that a 2-year-old does?
Right. Exactly.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
So I don't know what he's thinking. Like he's clearly smart enough to go, hey, they stole my friend. I'm going to go get these guys and we're going to go after them. And we're going to, okay. So that's some complex thinking there, but I just don't, like, it doesn't mean anything to me. So anyway, I don't know.
Here's some fun critic quotes. This one quotes the thing you say all the time. Writing for Consequence, Liz Shannon Miller gave the film a B and stated that there have been some exciting new stories told in this universe since The Rise of Skywalker, but watching this latest installment of Lone Wolf and Cub in space just confirms the degree to which Star Wars feels like it's spinning its wheels.
Yeah.
Jermaine Lucier of Gizmodo said that the film doesn't tell a vital story that pushes the characters or series into new territory.
Yes.
Here's a good one. Clarice Lowry of The Independent said, with just 5 minutes of Pedro Pascal and a completely dispirited voice performance from Jeremy Allen White as Jabba the Hutt's son, this is the dullest and most inconsequential Star Wars ever made.
Yeah. It's 100% true.
Yeah.
My overwhelming thing. So my wife asked me when I got home, she was like, how was it?
She said, why do you look so upset?
Yeah, literally. And the one word I gave was, it was boring.
If you're going to count cinema sins, number one sin, boring.
Yeah, boring. It feels like such an emotionally charged word and like a hyperbolic word or a word that like, what do you mean by boring? Why was it boring? And I'm like, I can tell you why it was boring. It was boring because the characters have no motivation. I don't know what they're after. I don't know what their goals are. I don't know what they want or what they need. And I don't know what anyone else represents in terms of antagonizing them. I don't understand. Like what did the twins, they pose a threat in that they, you know, are big slugs, but what do they... You know what I mean? Like, what are they? Why are they an antagonist?
Right.
You know, how does their worldview differ from his? There's nothing given. There's nothing. There's just nothing. And so I'm bored because there's not a thing to latch onto other than, hey, the score's pretty good. And that sucks. I did listen to some of the score on the way to work today. It's good.
Sure.
It's really good. But like, it's not like that's not going to save your film. The film's just a big nothing. I'd almost rather it just be bad. Like Rian Johnson, I disagree with everything he wrote, but at least he wrote something.
It wasn't boring.
It wasn't boring.
It was just...
I don't think it was correct.
The wrong direction, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't boring.
This is a direction.
This is not the right direction, and it's boring. Always happens on our show. You and I create ideas that would have made the film infinitely better.
Yeah.
And that's not to like, toot our own horn, but the truth is we've got a good grasp of like what makes a story tick and what would help us relate to and latch onto these characters and, what they're going through. And so the idea of progressing them in some way so that season 4 of The Mandalorian feels completely different than anything that came before, like this adventure changed them forever.
My thing is just like, I don't understand why this film had to be a film at all. Like, why couldn't it have been a season of the show? Like, what about the production value it makes it so that like, no, we need to get people paying to see this. If it's an acknowledgement that streaming is a bad business model, then don't make any more shows. Just start making movies and start committing to large screen series and serialized storytelling. If you're going to go that route, at least do that. Like even Marvel's like pulling back on our TV shows because if nothing else, it's not a good investment. Can't have these conversations with my kids without like going into a rant about capitalism because it's just at a certain point you run out of customers and you have to jack up the prices or you're not growing. That's the horrifying end point of like all business models is just the best thing is that there's competition and that requires you to innovate and have new offerings. But the problem is even if you do that, whether you're a monopoly or not, you're the CEO, your job performance is based on how much revenue, how much growth did we have this quarter? Yeah. And at a certain point, you just can't grow. Everyone read the Communist Manifesto without exploiting the customer base, whether by making it impossible not to buy your service or more commonly by jacking up prices again and again.
Yep.
That's true of any business. And if your business model is spend millions of dollars on series that can't possibly get a return on that investment, then it's even more important for you to jack up prices.
That's right.
If you're going to do this movie thing, make it a spectacle that where I walk out and go, holy shit, that was a movie.
For season 4. Yeah.
Right. Or I can't wait till they make a sequel to this. Like, fuck the show. Like, just do another Mandalorian movie.
Yep.
And I'll come see it because I liked it and my dollars are worth this.
Well, you mentioned like, necessitating, like, why does this necessitate a film? And I'm like, so I just did a quick search. The production budget for this film is about $165 million.
Oh, I saw the marketing budget though.
Yeah. Marketing was big. But Mandalorian season 2, production budget was $290 million. So over $100 million more to make the TV show.
Wow. So maybe they were just like, this will be cheaper and we'll make money at the box office.
Which I guess if you think about like, this is essentially 5 episodes versus 8. So sure, maybe you're cutting, it's three episodes less in terms of runtime.
Yeah.
But still an over $100 million difference is significant.
Okay, if you want to get down, you don't have to bite me. Just tell me in English you want to get off my fucking arms. Stop.
Yes, that's it.
Poop.
That's all I got.
Well, enjoy your lives, everyone.
Enjoy your lives. You can wait for this on streaming or just not at all. Wait for season 4 of The Mandalorian and just watch the little previously on Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm sure it'll just recap this film and that's all you need.
Oh, boy. All right.
Yep.
Okay, everybody.
Oh, well.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. This is the way to the exit.
That's right. This is the way we sign off. That little guy. I'm going to die, Grogu. It's fine.